Hey guys, it's the Pretty Wolf and welcome back to my channel. So in today's video, I am going to do a full glam makeup using the new Morphe 35XO Natural Flirt eyeshadow palette. This is part of their holiday collection. It is so beautiful. There are 35 shades in this palette. 17 of them are matte finishes, 18 of them are a mix of metallic, shimmery, and some matte finishes with a little bit of reflex on it. So it is so pretty, and this retails for $32 Canadian. So I'm super excited to show you the eyeshadow look that I have in mind using this eyeshadow palette. So if you'd like to see more of my videos, please hit the subscribe button if you haven't yet, and let's go ahead and start the video. Before I show you all the color from this palette, I just want to mention how pretty and cute this packaging is, and it's just so pretty, and I cannot say that enough. So let's go ahead and open this palette. It is just amazing, and it comes with this protector right here. This is the color story. It is just a nice pretty palette. Like, what else can you say? And it's very inexpensive for like $32. It's really worth it. So I'm going to swatch some of the colors. So the first one is, I'm going to show you some of the colors that are a little bit darker. So I'm gonna swatch +1 with this bling. This is a metallic shade, and also gonna swatch over the moon. So these are the three colors. First, that one, it does swatch nicely and really beautiful. It feels really soft and velvety. And I'm going to grab another shade, Matchmaker. I'm also gonna do Two Swan. This is kind of like a unique purpley tone. Happy Ever After. So these are the three colors. Oh my god, that swatch really beautiful. So I cannot wait. I'm super excited to try this on and to show you what eyeshadow or eye makeup look that I have in mind. So I'm super excited. All right, here we go. So if you notice, I ended up tying my hair because today is just not a hair day for me, but I promise this is a makeup day today. So the first thing that I wanted to apply is my face primer, and this one is from Too Faced. This is a good primer for drier skin in the winter. It is really hydrating. Press and massage this all over my face to really get that nice smooth and flawless foundation. Okay, perfect. And the foundation that I'm going to use today, of course, is my Born This Way foundation in shade Neutral Beige. So let's do one pump. For now, I'm gonna use my sponge from e.l.f. Cosmetics, and I'm just gonna build this up to the coverage that I want. And for concealer today, I'm going to use my Tarte Shape Tape Concealer. I'm in shade Light. So I'm just gonna focus on my T-zone. This is a really full coverage concealer, so I'm not gonna put crazy like all over my face. I'm just gonna right there. All right, and I will be blending this with my sponge as well. Okay, so concealer is done. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm going to set my face with a powder. So for the face, I'm going to use my Charlotte Tilbury. I'm in shade Medium. So I'm just gonna lightly press this powder around my face, like around here. I'm not gonna set it under my eyes yet because I'm going to use a different powder for that. And that's it. And for under my eyes, I'm going to set it with my NARS Light Reflecting Translucent Powder. I do love this because it doesn't build up any product around my eyes, but also it brightens it up a little bit, and it sets around my eyes as well. So how is that? That's a lot of steps right there. But if you prefer to just use one powder all over your face, including under your eyes, go for it. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just, this is my personal preference. Sometimes I like to be a little bit difficult, you know. Alright, so after that, I'm going to do my brow off cam. I'll be right back with my full on brow. And I am back with my brow. I feel good. Okay, so let's get started with the eyeshadow. And for the eye primer that I'm going to use today is, I have been loving this lately from Makeup by Mario. When I first reviewed this, I was like, I don't like that. It's too sticky, it's too thick. I don't like the consistency, I don't like the texture. but the more I use it, the more I feel like it really does make a big difference when I use it, especially when I want the eyeshadow to really pop and to show more color. I feel like this one is really good, but again, I wouldn't take back the thing that I said. It's still very thick, so I still prefer to use my finger when I apply this. So that's what I'm gonna do. So let's just stamp it in with my finger. As you can see, it is really easy. Right after the eye primer, I'm actually not going to use the powder that comes with this eye primer. I'm gonna use one of the shades from Morphe. I'll be using the shade Come Here Often. This is a kind of, it's not white, but it's a kind of creamy color into it. So I'm gonna use that. It's a matte finish. Press. It's a nice one. It's just a white base. Alright, for the first shade that I'm gonna use is Talk Feelings. So this is the shade right here. Dipping in with my blending E25 from Sigma. This is going to be my transition color. It picks up a little bit powdery, but it's not as crazy as other eyeshadow that I have tried before. I did put quite a bit of product into my brush, but I know it's gonna blend nicely. So as you can see right there, I stamp it and shape my crease a little bit higher as well. So you guys can see that is a very easy blendable eyeshadow. I mean, it's not hard to blend, very flexible. I think I'm good with that first shade. I'm going to use as much as I can as well to show you how the shades, they're very cohesive and they work really nice from each other. It's a lot, it's 35 shades and they're all really beautiful no matter what you use. Alright, so now I think I'm going to use the shade a little bit darker from the first one. I'm gonna use the Dating History. So it has more of a brown plum-ish tone to it. Right, focus around the crease area. So as you can see, that is how it looks like. I'm actually going to zoom you in a little bit, guys, because I feel like you need to see this a little bit more closer. So as you can see, I just deepen up my crease with the shade Dating History, and I think that's a pretty good amount of color in there. I'm going to jump into the next shade, and for that I'm going to use Show Some Skin, and for that I'm going to use a smaller brush, and this is from Kuo Crease Blender brush. So picking into that shade, this is a darker plum color. I'm going to just stamp that into the outer part of my eye, as where you can see me doing it. It's just incredible that this palette, it is so inexpensive, but then it does the thing. It's like performs really well. Well, I mean, most of the Morphe palettes are amazing. Like, they're really good. I have some of them. I'm just gonna pull this out a little bit as well because I want that little bit more elongated eyes. So as you can see, the shades doesn't give me a patchy blending. Like, I mean, it's really good because we set it with a nice white base as well, but some eyeshadow sometimes just doesn't blend properly, and this one doesn't do that. So that's a really good thing to remember. Okay, I feel like I'm gonna do a little bit of a halo effect, so I'm going to apply that shade into the inner corner of my eyes right here as well. Just gotta be careful. See, like, I have put that a little bit way stronger, so let me just blend that. So now that I created this kind of like halo effect on my eyes, I'm going to clean up my lid using my concealer to just make the color a little bit more brighter in that area, using a flat brush and kind of just applying it around the lid. So just over here, I'm not gonna put really crazy because I don't want the concealer to get messy around there, just a tiny bit. So you guys see that I did place it there. Now I'm going to grab the shade Kiss Me. This is a very interesting color. It looks a little bit more purpley on the pan, but when I swatch it, oops, phone, this is how it looks like. It's just really beautiful. It doesn't have the same color, and you wouldn't expect that's how it will look like on the skin rather than the palette. So for that, you really have to swatch it before you use it, because I think some of these shades in this palette is a little bit, it doesn't look the same as when you apply it on the skin, so it's not true to color. Okay, that's just what I noticed. So now let's stamp that shade into my eyelid using my finger. I tried this time. Just really pack it on. Like, see that, guys? It's just very bright and reflective compared to the palette. I'm gonna show you in just a moment, but it's beautiful. I'm not saying that it's a bad thing, it's just that I didn't expect that. Okay, I love that. Also, it's a very oil base in there, so you can really see a dent or like a mark on your finger when you try to press them on. It's not a bad thing, but it's just the way how it is formulated. So I'm gonna show you what shade was that, and this is how it looks like right there. So it looks way more pinkier and plummer and like more purpley, but on the eyes it doesn't look like it. And I'm gonna grab a small brush to kind of diffuse the edge of this, and grabbing a little bit to transition. So alright guys, there is the halo that I created on my eyes right now. And just by the way, excuse me, there is my neighbor trying to fix something, so forgive me if you can hear some of the boop, boop, boop. That's just someone that's trying to repair something and I couldn't stop. So let's go ahead and apply some different shades on the lower lash line, and for that I'm going to use the shade Double Tap, and that one is a really nice kind of peachy brown pink into it. I'm going to show you, that's how it looks like. It is so pretty. Let's use a different brush. I'm going to use the Mario brush. This is the E3, and I like to use this as well on the lower lash line because it's very fluffy, but at the same time it is quite thin, so I like it that way. Let's do this. Alright, here you go guys. So the next shade that I'm going to pick up is, I think I'm going to pick up a little bit more darker, which is Let's Snuggle. That one is more brown. So here it is guys, I am back with the finished eye makeup look, as you can see. And before I tell you my thought about that eyeshadow palette, let me just finish this whole look. So I'm just gonna apply a bronzer, highlighter, blush, and a lipstick for sure. So for the bronzer today, I'm going to use of course, my NARS Laguna bronzer. I need a brush. Okay, so for the brush, this is from Cool. Let me just apply this really quick, because this is a glam look that you should also try if you have the palette or just an inspiration. So bronzer is done. Now let's go ahead and apply the highlighter and the blush, and I'm going to use my NARS Hot Trace palette. You guys, I will tell you the story about this. As you know, I have this palette for probably about more than a year now, and I have been using this in and out in the camera, and I love this palette. And I haven't been using them lately because I thought that this palette is gone. I thought it's like I left it somewhere in the hotel rooms or someone just took it. I don't know. Like, I was like pretty sad about it. I'm like, oh, I kept looking everywhere and I couldn't find it. And then one day I was just kind of like cleaning up my room, and then this one was sneaked in. It's right beside the box that is also black. When I found it, I was really happy, and I was like, oh my god, finally I found it. So I'm going to use it today in honor of like me finding this palette. As you can see, this is the palette inside. It's really good, and I thought to also use this palette because it has this highlighter that has a little bit of pink cast into it, so I think it would be perfect for this look. So I'm gonna use that highlighter, but first we're going to apply a blush. I'm gonna use my Koho brush, same thing that I use for the bronzer, and for today I'm going to use this shade right here on top. It's like a nice plummy purpley shade into it, and then just very light as well, because I do love the palette, like the shades in here is very nice, although I'm not really using a lot of these shades. So let me just build up a little bit. I'm carried away by my story of this palette. I feel like I really miss it. I'm just enjoying that I have it here with me. Alright, so that is the blush. As you see, it's really natural, but it's very buildable. And the highlighter for now, I'm gonna grab that and just apply it around my cheekbone. Okay, I feel like this is the right time for this highlighter, because I feel like for this highlighter I use this more often compared to this one, but today I feel like it's good. I want this color to be more, you know, they're all harmonizing, so I do like that idea. I'm also gonna do on my Cupid's bow around here, and I'm gonna be using a small brush to put it on my nose, maybe on my brow bone. So for the lipstick, I'm going to use my 2 liquid lipstick right here. This one is from Estee Lauder in shade Heart Crush. It's a liquid matte finish, and this one is from MAC, and I'm in the shade Lady Be Good. I want to kind of create a almost like an ombre lip finish today, so let me just put this on. I don't need a lip liner when I apply this liquid, because I feel like it's just a really good finish around my lips, so I don't need to like apply a lip liner. This is kind of like a dark pink plummy, like almost like a red tone to it. Not more of a plum, more of like a pink red. Alright, and I'm going to apply this shade right into the middle of my lips so that I get that nice and lighter shade right here. And then I forgot, on top of that, I'm going to apply a lip oil from NARS. This is the shade Primal Instinct. I really love this because it's a nude color, but it doesn't really give as much color as what it is on the bottle. But I do love because it is hydrating, so I like that. At the same time, it gives me that gloss effect. My lips is really dry lately, and I really need something that's very hydrating, and this one gives me that. Alright guys, so to finish off this look, of course, I'm going to put a MAC Fix Plus to set my makeup. And whew, smells really good, smells amazing. I love that, and you probably don't see me a lot applying that, but it's really nice. I love it. And here you go guys, this is the final look that I created from Morphe 35XO Natural Flirt eyeshadow palette. There's definitely pros and cons. So I'm going to focus first on the pro. I think for the pros is it is a very inexpensive palette from $32 Canadian, and the palette has 35 shades. All the matte finish, metallic finishes are really good. They apply really well, they're very flexible, blendable, and it's so good. And for that, I think it is a good palette to have. Now I'm going to tell you something that I did not expect from this palette, and I feel like maybe it's a little bit misleading, and I think I mentioned that onto my video like while I'm doing makeup earlier. So this palette is not true to color. So whatever you see in this palette, some of them are okay, they're not as bad, but some of them are really way off. Just an example, this shade here that I applied into my inner corner right here. It is not a bad shade. It still shows pigment. It shows that bright effect into the inner corner of my eyes. But if you can see here, look at really closely, And I think you can see that there is a kind of minty bluish color, like a shade into it. But once I put it into my inner corner, it doesn't really show anything, like nothing mint in there. And I was looking at it closely and looking at it like so many times, and I just couldn't see where the mint is. It is yellow, it is gold. Like, I kept looking at it earlier, I'm like, where is the mint shade? Where is the mint color? And that was like, it's no way close to that. So that's what I am just saying. I'm like, so I can't believe it. Like, where did it go? So keep that in mind if you are looking forward to this specific shade right here. It doesn't look the same when you apply it. So for that reason, I think there's definitely pros and cons, but still a good palette. If you don't have something like this, maybe you should get it. It is worth it to get because of the price as well. I'm not sure if others experiencing the same, but you can always look around. You can always see a lot of reviews from this palette, but for sure that's what I noticed on mine. So I guess that's everything, guys. So thank you so much. If you haven't subscribed to my channel yet, please subscribe now and hit the notification bell so that you're notified whenever I upload my next video. Also, don't forget to leave a comment if you have any requests or any question regarding with the products that I used today. Just comment down below. And I think that's it. Thank you so much for watching. I'll be right back. I'll see you on my next video. Thank you, guys. Bye.